Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. My sister is a Karen. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Karen. And this is what we talk about every time you hear a woman say, I need to go call my sister. This is that hilarity and truth that you can only share with your sister.
Yep. And we have invited you into our circle to enjoy all the things. Not only is this just like what happens when you see someone say, let me call my sister. This is also our first real episode after we did our short little burst drops where we dropped like 5 episodes in a week and a half. Today and going forward, we're going to have an episode every Wednesday. The time length is just going to depend on, how much usable content we have from our little conversations. But every Wednesday going forward, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the things.
All the places that you listen to podcasts, we're on all the social media. Please chime into the conversation. We've talked about this in the intro episode. We just really want to be part of some of these conversations that are going on currently. Like Gen X is on fire, as we should be.
Yeah, we should be on fire. We're fucking fire. But also women are having a moment, right? We're
very much
that we're not going to tolerate some of this anymore, and we're learning that we don't deserve it. We deserve to have better. And sports, women's sports,
things like saying, well, I mean, people used to they didn't get divorced, they just stayed married. Well, maybe it's because the women didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, maybe they stayed trapped.
So there's so much. Thank you, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, thank you. We just feel strongly we want to be a part of these conversations. Menopause is also having a moment. Oprah Winfrey is doing a big episode. We are actually recording this on March 31st, and I think today is the day that the Oprah Winfrey episode is airing.
With that doctor that I love from the
Mary Claire Haver. Yes. I was just going to say my favorite menopause TikToker is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. She is a dream guest of ours on our show someday. When we have listeners that we even qualify to have guests, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot happening that we just wanted to participate in. So this is us doing that. But leave us some comments and tell us what you like, what you'd like to hear us talk about, what you don't like. Hopefully it's not really big, but
please be kind. We're all about supporting each other, supporting other women, supporting other humans. Yeah. I don't care if you're male, female, somewhere in between,
Here's the deal, guys. Like, we're such amateurs. We're recording on our phones. Okay? So
yes.
Like, really. So
if your comments are that it's crappy production, it is.
Or like that our makeup artist needs, some help. That's us. Okay? We know. We're not.
And so my makeup artist is me, and my aesthetic is, although today you can't really tell, because normally it's like, how close to looking like a man dressed up like a woman can I get? Are my patients going to think I'm actually a drag queen when I walk in the room?
Yeah, that's Karen's aesthetic. We both have a wild love affair with makeup and skincare. We have always, but we clearly utilize it differently. But that's a good segue. So I have something to tell you that you don't know about.
Yes, I'm dying.
Yeah. So as you
know, she teased me off air and was like, I'm like, show me what it is.
I know. Karen is all about instant gratification.
I have no chill.
Absolutely none. So here's the deal. So, I've been on this little journey recently trying to figure out how to apply makeup to my aging face. I know you can't, I don't know, maybe you can tell in this, but I think that I'm far enough away from the camera and it's a low quality, older model camera. We're not, or iPhone or whatever. So you're not getting the full effect here, but the makeup applies differently than it used to. Not only does it apply differently, but I'm a thin person. I just am a thin person. I have been. I feel like my face has become a little gaunt in the last couple of years. I was talking to my 25-year-old daughter recently and I was like, I don't think I need to contour here. I think there's a hollow there that's just I don't need to accentuate that. That's helping me. So I've been
you actually might be getting close to needing a t-shirt that says, this isn't Ozempic face. This is just my face.
Right? Yeah. And I think this is, to be fair, I always thought that my face would do this as I aged because there wasn't a lot of fattiness to my face anyway. So, the loss of collagen, all the things, whatever, I've been trying to like, there's a couple of like mature makeup artists, TikToks that I follow. I'm trying to like just change the way that I apply. Like, I think some of it has to do with application. Some of it has to do with I can't use the same products that I used to use. Some of it is I can't use some of this. Like, I used to use a powder foundation. That day is past. No more powder
Yes.
foundation for this old lady right here. So, one of the things I did recently, I bought Sephora had and I'm not getting paid for this. We're not even cool enough to have a sponsor, but Sephora had
We would happily accept Sephora as any kind of sponsor, though.
anybody really, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make
I'd
it like
happily accept my next door neighbor as a
just
sponsor.
like buy a real camera or something,
Yeah.
like, yeah. But anyway, so I buy this thing on Sephora, and it's like they do these often where it's like all of our must haves, or
Oh, I love those. Yeah, like Sephora's
exactly.
favorite lips, or like the
This
Holy
is the
Grail.
whole face.
Yes.
This is like the must haves for like vacation or whatever. So everything in it was a win. The other thing about this is I travel a lot for work, like, and my job is going to shift in the near future, and I'm going to travel more for work. So I'm also trying to rebuild my second kit of makeup that just stays in the suitcase. But also not everything, I don't want everything to be full size because it takes up space in the suitcase. I need space
Sure.
for heels and my other things. So anyway, so I get this must-haves vacation must-haves package from Sephora. It was like whatever it cost. And everything in it was a win, except, and I think you're going to like it, so I'm going to send it to you.
Oh,
Again,
good.
no sponsorship on this and no shade to this product, but it's the jelly cheek tint,
Stop. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I'm very
cooling
excited.
water, jelly tint. Yeah, that's what it is. I didn't care for the formula, first of all, but I also like the color was not for me. Like, not at all. And I was like, I'm gonna make Karen's day because I'm gonna send her
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I actually today I have my toned down blush on, but normally like my blush it's really not a pinky red. It's a red. Like
Yeah.
my blush is like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. When some of the TikTok girlies are like, oh, this is high pigment, Karen's like, and then they're like
No,
dabbing it. They're like, this is high pigment. And so then they dab it before they put it on their face. Karen's like, oh no, straight on the face.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
So
one of my blushes, I'm like, oh no, a brush takes way too long. I've got to dab it with the beauty blender
oh my
to
God,
get,
that's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lucille and I both tried this, and we both were just like the color's not really for us, but also just the formula is not either. So I was gonna send it to you. I still have that purse I made for you. Remember I made that purse a while
Oh
back
yeah.
of
Yeah, I
it?
thought you were sending that back with mom.
I forgot. I
Well, we'll
know.
blame it on mom. She's a slacker.
She is a slacker. Yeah. So I've
Oh
been
wait, let
yeah,
me
go
tell
ahead.
my funny story about mom and dad.
Oh yes. What do you have?
Because these will dry up hopefully sometime this summer when I'm able to move out of here. So mom's frustrated. She's had whatever, kind of a day, and I just don't. I'm not gonna, and I'm not going to cook dinner. And I was like, okay, do you want me to cook? And by that I mean, do you have hamburger helper that's ready to be put in
Yeah.
there? And she's like, no, I don't even know what I want. And dad's like, pizza. I don't really like pizza. And well, maybe I'll just go get Rosati's. Maybe I'll get the pizza. No, and he's like, well, we have pizzas. And so, anyways, so I talked mom into ordering DoorDash, which she's like,
She
I mean,
doesn't
this is no,
that's like a
she's
huge
very
deal
much, she
breaker.
wants to go get it, whatever. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
well, my son has my car and, I no, I'm like, your car's a hassle. I can't even figure out how to hook my music up. I was like, the delivery's free. You just have to pay the $5 tip or whatever. So we order Freddy's. It's delicious. Mom and I are sitting there. We watched the Travis Kelsey game show. We're having a great time. Dad was next door, and I text dad and I was like, hey, we got delivery from Freddy's. It's going to be here in 5 minutes. And he's like, okay. And then he texts back, let me know when dinner gets here. I'd already put my phone down. Mom and I watched the whole show. We're like, these cheese curds
No,
are so delicious. She's like, your dad's going to be upset. He's been over there so long. Like, these are not going to be as good if
no.
they're not more. She's like, he's been over there so long. And I go to I'm like, let me see what Jen's doing. And I was like, oops, my bad. Dad texted. Literally, we had finished our TV show.
So dad's just
We're
over there
sitting there.
at the neighbor's house.
He's just stuck over. Yes, he's just over at the
Oh my
neighbor's house.
God.
Yeah, he was
That's
very. I
really
mean, he did not even care. I was like, because I just texted. I was like, "It's been here. My bad." Which, if you don't have kids, by the way, my bad is the new apology.
yeah. Yeah.
Does
That
your because Michael will say that to me. He'll be like, "Oh, my bad," and I'm like, "That's no." An apology is like, "I'm sorry. I will do better next time." That's not.
okay, so let me tell you the first time that I got a my bad apology.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is so long ago. Sam was like 4 years old. My son, who's like 19 right now, is like 4 years old, and we are poor. We are like living in that ghetto
Duplex.
duplex. I don't know if I should say that, but it was not a nice duplex. It was like 100 and something years old. It had been a house. They cut it in half. Like the floor in the kitchen it was like peeling up, and there were layers of flooring that were like
Yeah.
visible where it was peeling up. Like it was an awful, awful. Not it didn't even have central heat. Like it was an awful house. But we could afford the rent. So we lived there while I was in grad school.
Yeah.
So
It did have a lovely porch.
I did have a nice porch, and actually this story is on the front porch. So we're on the front porch hanging out with our neighbors that live across the street. By the way, the house was originally just one house. The whole rest of the neighborhood is real nice. Like it's older homes, like bungalows from like the early 1900s, super cute houses with big porches, and a lot of them have been remodeled and well kept. And I just lived in the dump house on the neighborhood, but whatever. So these neighbors across the street who you remember, I was really close with them.
Yes, they had
They're
the baby that Sam was obsessed with.
no, the baby was obsessed with Sam. So Miles was his name.
Yes.
They had like their baby was like 4 years younger than Sam. And then my daughter's like 10 at the time. So we're out on the front porch. We're hanging out with Miles and his parents and, just like whatever. Just, I mean, I don't even know. It was nice weather. And Sam had my phone in his hand. And again, we're poor at this time in my life. Like we are living on student loans and not really child support. So we're
Yeah.
poor, and Sam drops the phone and the screen breaks, like shatters. And I'm like, my God, like you broke my phone. Like the screen is
And
broken.
this is also 15 years ago. Like, no one is taking their screens apart and replacing them on their own or
No, this
whatever. The
was
screen
really
breaks, you die.
this
Like, or you the phone.
and back then when the screen broke, like it was like there were shards touching your face. Like
Yes.
today you can use a cracked screen phone. You couldn't back then. So he goes, "Oh, my bad." And I'm like, Sam,
No.
do you understand that you like literally broke the phone? Like it has to now be replaced. I don't have money to replace it. And he goes, Mom, I do. I said my bad. And I was like, and he was really contrite. Like he really meant it. He
Yes.
felt bad. And he was like, I said my bad. Like to him, that was totally the thing to say. He didn't
Yeah.
understand that there was a different phrase, and he was 4. So at the time I just like let it go because he was 4 years old. Like that wasn't the age appropriate.
Yeah. Now, as they're getting older, when like Michael does something and like one night he pulled the car in the garage and forgot to close the garage behind him.
Shit. At our
I
parents' house.
yes.
Leave
Yes.
a boomer's garage door open and see a boomer go banana.
Yes. Yeah. So dad's
I love
obviously
boomers. My parents and my aunts are all boomers. I love boomers.
yes.
But really, like,
Love them. But
yes.
for real, this was like catastrophic. And he's just
Yeah.
like, my bad. Says this like 4 or 5 times to mom and dad, comes upstairs. And I was like, dude, you really I was like, just make sure that you say you're going to, and he's like, the same thing. Like, I said my bad. And I was like, my bad that's when I literally said, like, my bad is not an apology. An apology is, I'm sorry, I will do better next time. Like,
Okay, but in
to
his
him, those are completely interchangeable.
exactly. In his defense, my bad in that age group, my bad means I am sorry and I will do better next time.
Yes, like it
We
is
don't
like I'm
interpret
taking it.
that. Right. We don't interpret that, but that's exactly what they mean when they say it to us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know. It's
The use of language.
yes. Let me tell you what the boomers do.
Okay.
That's what the
Tell me.
kids do. The boomers do this. You ask a yes or no question. Do you have any pain? Not really. It's not, no. That's the one that drives me crazy. And I'm like, because as a nurse, I
Yeah.
ask that all the time of people. Do you have any pain? And I'm an oncology nurse. I'm asking my
Right.
cancer. I mean, I'm constantly
Right.
wanting to know, like, as soon as you have any pain or any changes, we want to catch it. And they always go, oh, not really.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm like, It's not a not really.
Yeah.
So I have expanded. Now I say, do you have any pain other than the normal aches and pains that are what I call the I'm not 20 pains?
Yeah.
Like when you were in your
Yeah.
20s, you didn't get out of bed and go, oh, that hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, in my experience, in patient care as well. And I don't know that it really only is the boomers, but people don't give direct answers to like the history taking or the triage questions. People don't give direct questions to that. Like, when did your pain start? Or when like in my case, maybe it's, when did the tinnitus start?
Yes.
Have fun. Be careful. When did the tinnitus start? Well, I didn't have it when I was in my 30s, and I used to work at this place, and I had this boss that smoked cigarettes at the desk. I didn't have it then, but then I did have it at my next job, which was a noisy place, and I did not have a boss. I'm like, every single detail you just gave me is irrelevant to this story.
Yes.
Like, completely
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think something about the doctor's office makes us all take 100 side quests, because I even catch myself doing it too. Like, I'll be in like, oh, I have this spot on my nose. I need you to look at it. I think it's, I'm concerned about skin cancer. And he's like, well, how long have you had it? Well, I put makeup on every day, so I know exactly when it arrives.
Yes.
And then I have to like check myself. I'm like, oh my God, did I just do that? Like, I
Yeah.
just literally
I've
did.
tracked it through 3 menstrual cycles, no changes. Like, okay, thanks. So when did it start?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there's something about the doctor's office that does that to us. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not our best feature as a human race. It's not. It's not great.
No.
We're wasting a
Our
lot of people's
mom
time.
is kind of the opposite, though, to be honest. She
Is
literally
she?
the other yesterday, this is a real thing that happened. Yesterday, she was asking me something about the podcast. Um, I think she was like, "So how long are the episodes going to be or whatever?" And then she's like, I started answering and she's like, "Okay, I just asked yes or no." And I was like, "No, no you didn't. No. That's no, you literally asked a completely open-ended question. You lost
Not
interest."
a yes or no question at
Yeah,
all. Our mom is really smart. Like, she does actually know how the English language works.
I know. I know.
Oh
It's
my
hilarious
God.
because she was just like, I mean, I just asked yesterday. No, you literally did not.
If you
It's
had
like when
said
she walks
yes,
and she's like, "Is that okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know who you're asking because you're the only one that matters. Is it okay?" Like, it's like with dinner, she's like, "I don't know what I want. Can we have pizza? Is that okay?" Who are you asking? Your other self? Dad and I are going to say whatever is fine.
oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I do love the makeup. I have not tried a gel, like jelly pigment on my cheeks, but I have seen them and I'm interested and want to.
So I will tell you, because I watched the Lipstick Lesbians. Do you know them?
No.
Okay,
And that's so right up my alley.
you need to find them. So one of them is like a content creator, or they're married to each other.
Yeah.
The girl behind the camera, but you'll hear her chime in occasionally. She's like a content creator. Like, she's a social media, like, that is her job in life. And then the girl that's in front of the camera is a product developer. She is a scientist for
Stop
makeup.
it.
Like, if they were into threesomes, I would be their other wife. I love them. And
Yes.
I'm not even gay. I would be their other wife, though. I love them. They're really, so it's really interesting to watch them. And what they do is they'll just like, sometimes they'll be in Sephora and they'll just like stop at like a display, and they'll kind of talk through the makeup display, like that maker
Yeah.
or manufacturer, whatever. And then other times they're talking about like new launches this year. It just depends. But I did see her talking about this milk product in particular. And so when you take the lid off, it came off. Okay. When you take the lid off, there's a hair on there. My apologies for that. There's this internal lid, this little plastic one that looks like the deodorant, cap. You
Yes.
do need to keep that on here, because otherwise the makeup will dry out.
Oh, this stuff will dry off.
Yeah. And she said that she had seen like a lot of people saying that their stuff dried up, and she was like, you have to keep that lid. So
Oh, good to know because I totally would have trashed that.
I would have too if I hadn't known. So,
Yeah.
like, all love to the Lipstick Lesbians for telling us. Alexis and Christina is their names. You definitely need to Google them. We're not getting anything for pitching them
No.
either. Again, that I'm just talking about people
Yeah.
who I adore on TikTok or whatever. But yeah, so she
Well,
said,
just give credit where it's,
that's where I
I mean,
learned it. Yeah, she said keep the lid on that. And I had thought that maybe I would like it because I thought it wouldn't be overly pigmented. I thought since it was kind of a jelly. And I also thought it might be moisturizing because I have really, really dry skin,
yes.
as you know. And so I thought it might be kind of moisturizing, but it just like, it didn't, like, for me, I would put it on like over my foundation and it would just like, it didn't blend. You know, I'd try to take something and blend,
Yeah.
it didn't blend. So then I tried to just like apply it directly to my brush and then I just didn't have good luck with it. And the color was off. Like it was just not a great color
Yeah.
for me, but it is
Well, and
really
if it's not a great color, why are you going to mess with
exactly.
learning how to apply?
Exactly. So I've been a liquid blush girly lately because I just don't think that powder agrees with me anymore. Like on any, like I do still use like a finishing powder, but I use
Yes.
a really I use like one of those brightening finishing powders. I don't put it everywhere anymore though. I don't think powder is my friend anymore for my face. Like I think
Honestly, so now that we're talking, I'm like, I wonder if maybe I should go back and try a powder foundation. Because my issues with foundation are that it like separates and the oil like breaks through on my skin. Now, previously, I've not done well with powder foundations, like, and this is previously as in like decades ago,
yeah.
like when Bare Minerals first came out. Sometimes the powder stuff would make my face itchy. Like I remember do you remember when mom was on the Oprah show and got all that swag?
Yes.
And one of them was like a mineral blush that was like a Maybelline or CoverGirl or something.
Oh, okay.
She she gave me one and I loved the color and whatever, but like I would notice that it made my face itch.
So you know that one of the things that they've done in the last couple of years is they took a lot of the talc out of a lot of the powder makeups. I don't
Yes.
know that.
That's why it's like it's been 20 years.
So you might, yeah, you might like it better. I didn't think so. One of the ways that we are not alike at all is Karen has always been an oily girl, like even like teen years, 20s, 30s,
Yes.
like always. You had oily skin, even like oily hair. I
Yes.
had dry skin to the point that like when I was in high school, somebody at a makeup counter once said to my mom, like, she's the driest skin I've seen, like ever. It's so dry. I really never had a lot of like acne in high school in my 20s. I really didn't
No.
have that. I had a little bit of a window, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago. I had a little bit of a window where I often had like one or two little pimples on my face for a couple of years, but it was one or two. Like it was not
Yeah.
dramatic at
Well, and
all.
I didn't have like terrible acne. My skin was just always like I am the
Yeah, you're right.
girl
You
that
really,
I have to have like blotter, like the oil blotting sheets or
yeah,
yeah, like it's not but I am just oily. Like
yeah,
my face is and our faces like our skin is so different also because like you're very thin naturally and I'm not. I mean
yeah,
even when I'm at my fittest, I'm still bigger and more
yes,
full.
yes,
Like
yeah,
so our skin is completely
yeah.
the opposite of
Yeah,
each other.
we rarely, I mean, occasionally we talk a lot about like makeup or skincare,
Yes.
but
But
we
tons
don't.
of like when we have especially like when we lived closer and things
Mhm.
and tons of time like I used to keep like a stack of Ipsy stuff that was like the wrong color, that
Yeah,
I was
the wrong
like
formula.
yes, that I was like I don't need moisturizing whatever, but
Anytime, anytime that we got like, free gifts with our purchase or, like the kit that I bought
yes.
from Sephora recently, we always like saved the stuff that we weren't going to use because it was for the opposite person.
Yes. And
Yeah,
that has been actually very nice because we don't waste a lot.
exactly. And we do, like, we talk a lot about makeup and what we're each using. And there are a few things that we use similarly, but
Yes.
even then, like, I'm using different application methods than you are. It's a lot. There's a lot of difference when it comes to makeup, not just in the finished product, the way we both look, but you haven't used a base foundation for years.
No, not since COVID.
Okay.
I since right around COVID when we had to put the masks on, and I was like, it's disgusting I mean, like seeing all that makeup. I'm like, if all that makeup that I can see is on my
Yeah.
mask, like, ew.
Yeah.
So I stopped wearing foundation. And then when I would go to wear it for like special occasions, like I stopped wearing it daily. And then I was like, well, I'll still wear it on special occasions. And then I started noticing that I'm like, I look better if I just put on a good like pore filling primer and then do like the rest of, I still do blush, I still do concealer, I even do contour a little bit, but no, I haven't used a base foundation for like 5 years. And
Yeah.
part of it is every time I try, I'm like, well, I can't get one that looks any better. I do have a couple, like I have a couple little age spots but other than that, my biggest skin issue is my pores are just big and it's oily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like, well, I don't need like full coverage.
Right.
So if I can't find something, that's why I was like, maybe I should try like a powder foundation now because they are kind of lighter coverage. But no, I have not used an actual like base foundation in forever.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
remember one time you came in town and we were all going to a Royals game. And I that was maybe one of the last times that I did foundation. It was probably before COVID, but I like had a full face on, and our brother Mike was like it was in August, so it's like 125 degrees, and Mike's like, you're like dripping like the Joker.
No, he didn't. It
It was
was
like,
August. That was a long time ago. That was like 2016, 2017.
yes,
He
it was
did? You're dripping like the Joker?
dripping like the Joker.
Oh my
Because
God.
I'm sure, like, I mean, literally, like, it's totally hot. Where our seats were not even in the shade. I
Oh
don't.
no, we had terrible seats. It was
Yeah,
so hot.
and
It
I'm
was so
like
hot.
sweating like I always do.
And the game was like at 105 or something. It was like the hottest hours of the day. Yeah.
Yes, he was like, I mean, like, he just had this look on his face, like, dude, I don't even know where to start. He was just like, Karen, you're like, it was like that, like something. There's our sweet girl, Sophia.
Okay, so she just ate a Kleenex out of my. That's why I picked her up. I was like, oh, she's eating a Kleenex.
She is living the dream. Oh my God.
Are you living the dream?
Hi, pretty.
She's so so dirty. I took her on a hike yesterday. She went for like 3 miles, which is pretty good for her because she's a tiny little thing.
Yes.
Hold on, let me move this tissue.
So she can't have dessert.
I know. No more for that. No more of that. Yeah, so I took her on a hike and it's, dry and dusty, Arizona. So I was going to bathe her yesterday and I didn't. So when I picked her up, I was like, oh, you smell like a hike. You still, yeah.
Yeah.
Smells like dirt.
And for all of our listeners who don't know, Jennifer likes her dog best when she's clean and pampered and pretty.
Yes, my dog is for decorative purposes only. Like she really has no use other than decoration. She's adorable and she got a dog hair on my lip. Sorry. She's adorable and hilarious, and we've already done an episode where we talked about her a little bit, but she is definitely here for decoration. She's not a guard dog. She is not an emotional support dog. She is just decorative.
No, she's for sure not an emotional support dog.
No.
She's almost like a cat in that aspect. That if you were like, Saphira, come here, I need snuggles, she'd be like, fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the way, can I tell you what happened about the cat last night?
Yes.
So just like recapping, my daughter lives here. She's got a cat. The cat lives here now. So last night, all three of us went out to dinner. We hardly ever go out for dinner like this. Like it wasn't like reactive, like we don't have any food. We kind of just decided like, oh, let's all go out and eat together.
That's so nice.
We haven't done that in like, I don't even know how long. So we went out for dinner, ate tacos. It was delicious. Came back home. It was like 8:00 at night. And we're kind of all like putting on pajamas and, I'm going to watch this TV. I'm going to read a book in this room, like, settling or whatever. And I'm back in my bedroom because, I'm kind of getting ready for bed. And I hear Lucille go, oh, there's a scorpion. And I was like, are they watching anime? Like, what is... No, there was a scorpion inside the house. And I didn't know, but because by the time that I came out of my bedroom, there's a scorpion on the floor. Lucille is standing there staring at it, not smashing it. I'm like, you need to get it because the animals are not, like, they're not good for the animals. So she takes a shoe and like slams the scorpion. It's only like this big. Like it's really tiny. Like the size of a small spider,
That's
honestly.
horrifying that they
Yeah,
come
I
that
had no
small.
idea.
I thought they had to be big so you could see them.
I thought they were bigger. I thought they were like this. They can be big like that. This is so anyway. So she's like, I think it got Daphne. And I go, well, I don't think so because by the time that I come out, the scorpion is on the floor. Daphne is a good like 3 feet away. But she was in this, there's this
Yeah.
kind of like area in my hallway that's, it's big. I don't know. So Daphne's like 3 feet away from the scorpion. And I go, I mean, Daphne's all the way over there. Then she's not crying or anything. Well, Daphne's acting weird. She starts like doing this weird like thing. And anyway, I'm pretty sure she got stung on next to her mouth. Mm-hmm. So then, and you know, she's a cat. So she just like walks away from all of us. You know, she's like under the
Yeah.
couch. And then we're like, you know, so my son is like Googling, you know, first he's trying to Google what kind of a scorpion it was. Then he's trying to Google, you know, is the cat going to die? And
Yeah.
I'm like, trying to help get the cat and like shine light on her and see like whatever. So anyway, long story short, we're pretty sure she did get stung by the scorpion. Lucille said that when she found the scorpion, Daphne was right there next to it. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And her little, like, they have these little, like, balls next to their mouth. And the one side was definitely swollen. But she wasn't like, but we did finally like catch her. And my son was like holding her and I was like, you know,
Yeah.
palpating. And she didn't like squeal or anything when I like pushed on that side, but it was swollen. She was definitely like doing some maybe itching or grooming or
Yeah.
anything to it, like rubbing it with her paw, rubbing it with her shoulder, you know.
Yeah.
Called the vet this morning. We're like, so we're new to Arizona. Like, we don't really know, but we think the cat got stung last night. She did make it through the night. I mean, we did have, like, my daughter slept with the cat in her bedroom with the door closed, which is not usually the cat has the run of the house while she's,
Yeah.
you know, right. And by this morning, she was like completely fine. She ate her dinner, her breakfast fine. Like, everything was fine. So, I mean, I guess she's fine. I called the vet. They were like, I mean, if she's fine, we don't need to see her. If there's a change in behavior or, you know, she lethargic or whatever, then call us back. So I guess it's fine. But the scorpion was like real far from the back door that I'm pretty sure he came in through because we had been in the backyard yesterday afternoon, like doing, like the kids hung a hammock up out there. Like we had been in the backyard for a little while yesterday. So the back door was like open, you know, on numerous
Yeah.
occasions. I'm sure the scorpion came in from that. I mean, I hope so. But it was pretty far from the back door. And now that I saw how tiny it was, I was like, scorpion was in this house for a long ass time.
I'm really surprised that is that the first time because when we were coming to visit and do our sister's weekend not that long like a few years ago, it was like don't forget to shake out your sheets at the hotels for scorpion. Like, do you remember me saying like, do
Yeah.
you legit have to do this? Because they made it sound like residents of Arizona, like this is a nightly thing.
Yeah. When I moved here, I felt like everybody made it sound like they were just like scorpions galore. Like they're just going to be like crawling all over your house, all over inside. Like I was like, I don't really know if I'm going to live here for very long because the scorpion situation
They
sounds
made it
like
sound
it's
like
out of.
Australia kind of.
Yeah. I've only. So I have some cleaning people that come over like once a month and clean the house. Maybe like a year ago, they told me that they found a dead scorpion like under the washing machine in the laundry room. And they're like, did you know? Whatever. And I was like, no, I didn't like
No.
put the dead scorpion under the washing machine. I didn't know that there was one in there. And I had never seen it or I'd have freaked out. So no.
Yeah.
So they said that there was one in the laundry room. It was already dead when they found it. And then he had said something about like the color, like, oh, it was the wrong color. Like, this is the color you got to watch out for or something. Obviously, that went in one ear and out the other. I really don't know. I don't know that I've really seen them. I've seen a snake, and I'm talking about a big ass snake.
No.
Like this is not, it was probably 3 feet. And it was around this
That
time
no.
last year. So I like to go hiking, as you know, because I just told you I took the
Yeah.
dog yesterday. And I was hiking and there's some mountains that are like 15 minutes from my house and you can just go hike there. They're open all the time. Like the hiking trails are open all the
Yeah.
time. So I was over there hiking like one afternoon after I'd finished working because you have to
Yeah.
take advantage when the weather's nice. You got to go hiking
Oh, yeah.
like 3 times a day because the weather's only nice for a short while in Arizona. Otherwise, it's like hell. And then it's not hell.
Yeah.
That's all there is. So I was taking the dog after work one afternoon. We were out. She's on a leash. You can't let her off a leash because of snakes. So, and she doesn't mind. So we're like on our way home. We had done like 3 miles and we're on our way back to the car. And we're like close enough I can see the parking lot from where I am. And I go around the corner and the dog is, like far ahead of me, just like trotting along. And there is a snake. I'm not kidding. It was like this big around. And it was
That's
like,
like as big as a baseball.
it just thought that I did the heart symbol. That's
I
not what,
know.
that is not what I did. Okay.
No, we
It
do
is
not
like
love
as big
snakes.
as a baseball around and it is like over 3 feet long and it is sprawled out across the trail.
God, how'd you get home?
I freaked out, Karen. Literally freaked out. I can't believe I've never told you this story. I yank the dog. So the dog is on a retractable leash. I only take her on
Yeah.
a retractable leash when we're on hikes. And it's because she's so tiny that if she gets momentum going up or down a hill, she needs
Yeah.
to keep that momentum. So she's got, so I retract the leash and I grab her and I pick her up because she was just going to keep trotting along.
Of
And
course.
I'm literally frozen. Like I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm hungry. I ran out of water. I want to get home, but I don't know what you're
Just
supposed
let
to
me
do.
just tell you what my anxiety is currently telling me I would do. I would have been standing there holding the dog and I would be calling you going, I don't know what to do, Jennifer. There is a huge
That's actually
snake
really
in the
true. Really true. There have been so many phone calls like that where Karen's like, so I don't like I just broke the shower head at dad's apartment. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you call me? Why? Why?
And for sure. I would have been on the phone like, okay, I'm not sure what to do.
You definitely, yeah. So I freak out, I pause, and I can see coming up the trail, there's a guy coming up the trail on a bicycle. And I was like, I kind of yelled at him and I like put out my hand, like, stop. And so he stopped and I was like, and he saw the snake at the same time that he saw my hand. And I was like, I'm paralyzed. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's wait a minute and see if it finishes crossing because we could see that it had been crossing but it was
Yeah.
stopped when I saw it. So anyway, then a pack of bicycles come up that same trail behind that guy and they all stop and they're all waiting and I'm like, I guess I'm just going to turn around and go back up the mountain. And there's obviously like there's a bunch of trails that converge at different places. So I was like, I'm
I mean,
just going
I'm
to
like,
go
I guess I just live here now.
was just going to go up 2 more miles up the mountain and go to the other trail that's another mile and a half down to where my car is. I've already done 3 miles and I'm like, I don't even care because I'm going to die here otherwise. And the bicyclists are just like patient as can be. Like this shit happens to them all the time. And they're like, oh, it just ate. Look at its belly, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh
Oh
my
my God.
God. Okay, long story short, the snake finishes crossing the path, goes under a bush and into the ground, and the bicyclists all go riding past me. And the last one, they're literally like more than a dozen. The last one that go by is like, you can go ahead and keep going. And I was like, we don't think it's coming back. And because he had stopped, he's like, no, I don't think it's coming back. He's like, it ate and it went back home for the night. Like you can go out. I'm sure it's safe to go out to your car. I passed like 3 more people on the little quarter mile it took to get to my car. Every person I passed, I was like, there is a big ass snake back there. Like
Yeah.
big ass snake. I don't know if you should go on this trail. Go to the other trail. There was this one couple that was probably like in their 50s or whatever. And the husband was like, huh, okay. And they just like kept walking like it was no big deal.
Oh my God.
It's like us with a tornado, like we're like,
Yeah.
tornado warning. Like if it's not in my neighborhood, I'm not going to the basement. But
If I can't,
so I'm
yeah.
like freaking out about the snake, and all the Arizonans are just like, oh, okay. They're like, obviously she's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my survival story from the wilderness in Arizona. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I came home and I was pretty scarred. I'm pretty sure I just like came home and had a glass of wine or something. Like I was like not doing this.
Okay, did you know that Gramps hated snakes like as much as like Indiana Jones?
I don't think I knew that. That's interesting because the little garter snakes are good for the garden.
Yeah, he doesn't I don't think he minds those. There was this one time that there was a big black snake, and it wasn't nearly as big as the one,
Yeah.
it did clearly have murderous intentions,
Yes.
but there was this big black snake, and it was like in the little well to the basement window thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
but it was like in the front yard of Grandma and Gramps' house. And so I
Okay.
saw it and I was like, Gramps, there's like a big black snake out there. And he was like, well, it's just going to have to die. He's like, I don't mess with snakes. I had to call a friend and I was like, Kevin, this friend of mine that I recently got back in touch with, because he's such an awesome guy. He was like, we were going to hang out like later. And I was like, hey, instead of like me and Michael coming over there, do you think you could come over here? And also on your way in, there is a black snake that we need disposed of.
Oh my God.
Like, not because then Kevin like went and killed it and he was like, okay, it's dead. And Gramps is like, okay, well, it can sit there and rot then. Because he like wasn't even going to mess with the
I
dead
had
snakes.
no.
I know. I
That's
like,
so
you guys
funny.
don't understand what this man at 87 years old was on a ladder with a chainsaw
Yes.
trimming trees because he's fearless. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, get down. He's
Yeah.
like, well, Karen, who's going to do it? You can't.
I know.
I'm like,
Exactly.
you're correct, but old man, get off the ladder.
I know. I know.
I mean, he was
I didn't know
afraid
that he
of,
didn't like snakes though.
yeah, like, I don't know if there was a story behind it. I don't, I mean, he never said like, oh, after the war,
Yeah.
but yeah, he did not like, cause I was like, ooh, like you and Indiana Jones, huh? All right. That's the,
Okay, so do you know my snake story about when I lived in Texas?
no, I don't
Okay,
think so.
so we had just moved to Texas. This was, as you know, I'm just setting the stage for the listeners if we have any. I had just graduated with my doctorate degree and we relocated to Texas. My daughter's in high school. My son is like, we moved there 2 weeks before my daughter started freshman year of high school. So my son must have been like 8. He was in like third grade or something.
Yeah.
So we had just like literally, we'd been living there for like a month. And we had met 2 neighbors, and one of them was an older couple, like probably in their like late 60s, early 70s. They were retired and they had 2 houses in 2 different locations in Texas, which were where their grandchildren.
Oh,
So
I
they
love
lived
that.
like,
That is
yeah,
the
so they
dream.
lived like part time in the house, like sort of a catty corner from my house. They lived in that house part time, and then they lived somewhere else in
Yeah.
Texas part time. And then the neighbors next door to them was a couple. The parents were like my age, but their kids were little. They had kids later in life, and so
Hmm.
their kids were like 5 and 3 or something. And so I had met both of them within like a few weeks of moving in. So we're like at the house, just probably like still shit in boxes, you know.
Yeah.
And Sam comes in and goes, Mom, Jared and Maurice are in the backyard with a shovel and a stick or something. And I'm like, what? And so I go to the back and I'm like, they're not back there. Like, what is he talking about? This is so weird. And so I just go back about my business, like making the dinner or getting whatever I'm doing. And
Yeah.
it was probably like Sam's bedtime anyway. And he was kind of a pickle about bedtime. Like he was actually a little shit about bedtime
Yeah.
during that window of time. So I probably just thought, like, in general, he's not really a kid to tell, like, to make stuff up. That
No.
wasn't really his thing, but it was just such a weird thing. And so I just like ignored it. And then I think later he was even like, no, they're in the front yard now. And so again, like I go outside, I'm like, well, there's nobody out here. Like Jared and Maurice, like their houses are, sometimes they would be like out on their driveways, like,
Yeah.
meeting. I was like, they're not out on their driveways tonight. Like everything looks fine in the neighborhood. And so then like an hour later, I get a text from Lauren, Jared's wife, and she's like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know Jared and Maurice were out. Maurice was he's the guy that had the grandkids in 2 different places. He
Yeah.
was sort of a surrogate granddad to Jared and Lauren's kids too. He was just really, really a nice, like really nice couple. And so Lauren is like, Jared and Maurice were walking the kids tonight and they saw a snake in their yard, in my yard. And so they took the kids back home and gave them back to Lauren. And then they took a shovel and a hoe or something, right? I don't know, something into my yard. And she said they didn't tell you before they went there because they didn't want you to freak out. But they came home and they were basically like, Lauren, Like Jennifer just moved in there. She's single and she's not from Texas. So she doesn't know that like snakes are like an okay thing to have. It's not okay. Let me just clarify
It's
that it's
not.
not
Yeah.
okay. But for them, that was normal, you know? And they were like, we're just, and Lauren said, let me text her. And they were like, no, wait until we've caught the snake and then text her. They
Texas
never
men
caught
are
it.
built different. They didn't
They
catch it.
never caught it. They never found it.
I can't believe you lived in that house that long.
Seriously. Seriously. And then, do you remember the other funny thing? Like, we had a pretty strong welcome to Texas when we lived there. So that happened like a month after we moved in. And within a few weeks of that happening, then Lucille comes out of her bedroom on a Saturday morning and is like, there's a frog in my room. There's a frog in my room. Oh my God. Oh my God. There was a fucking frog in her room, just sitting on the carpet of her room among all of her like clothes. And, you know, she's in high school. There's like stuff
Oh
everywhere.
my God. Yeah.
I was like, we were so new to Texas. Like, this was probably actually before the snake thing because I didn't know anybody. I texted my office manager and I was like, there's a frog in our bedroom. Like, is there somebody that you call for that? Like, what do we, like, what
Yeah.
do we, and my office manager came over. She was like, put a piece of Tupperware over it and I'll be there in a few minutes. And she came over and got it. I found
God
out
bless her.
later she actually hates frogs. She also ended up not being a big, like necessarily somebody who I was friendly with. But in
Yeah.
that moment, she was my favorite person in Texas.
Okay. Do you remember the shitty duplex that you lived in? And
Yeah.
Michael and I, do you remember the mouse? Michael, my son is like literally a baby.
Did he even talk? Like, was he even old enough to talk yet? I don't think so. I think he
I
was
don't think
legitimate.
so. He was not the star of the story.
No.
Samuel,
Yeah.
there was a mouse. We were freaked out. Jennifer had a terrible person that she called a friend at the time. She called him and he was like, the mouse isn't going to hurt you. And I was like, I'm sorry that Michael and
That
I have
was
to go stay in a
literally his
hotel.
response. He was
That was
literally like,
literally
what?
his response. He's like, it's not going to hurt you. What are you? I'm like, hang up. What is? He
I
is
was like, we have
worthless.
babies here. Yeah.
I felt terrible. I was like, I'm going to have to call mom and make her book me a hotel on point
Yeah.
or something. And then the best part of, so there's this little mouse runs across. We all get freaked out because we're girls in
Because
that
we're,
way.
yeah,
You know, we are such,
big babies.
yeah. So well, who was it? Our brother? Because then we texted our brother and we're
We
like,
did. We
if
texted,
you
I
could,
think we called him. I think we
yeah,
called
and we're
over.
like, listen, on your way to work, if you could swing 3 hours each direction out of your way and come take care of this mouse.
Yeah.
And Mike was like, we'll have Sam take care of it. And Sam, who was like, what, like 4 or 5? I mean, he
He
was
couldn't have been,
so,
we moved out of there when we were 6. I mean, he couldn't have been
yeah,
more.
he was very little. And we were like, Sam, you're the man of the house. You have to do this. And he goes, well, I'm allergic. Kid has so many food allergies.
But you
And he's
don't
like,
even, yeah, we haven't even unpacked this yet, but my son is actually literally allergic to so many things.
yeah,
So he was not wrong when he said that. He was like, I'm probably allergic. And he just
yeah,
left the room. Like
yeah.
he was like, I
He
might drop.
didn't even realize how hilarious it was. I mean, he was like, his little 4-year-old brain was like, well, I'm probably allergic. I can't do it. And we're like, oh my God, we're screwed now.
I think it went into that closet. Remember there was that big closet in the dining room and there was
Yes.
like it was like a storage closet. It had a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think I went in that closet for like months after that. I stayed
It
out
just had craft stuff in
so
it. You don't
long.
need any of that. Yeah.
No.
No,
There,
that's the
yeah.
mouse's place now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. And that place was like that duplex. This is the second time it's come up in this conversation. I don't even know why we're still talking about it. But like, if you want to talk about like slumlords, like they just didn't care. If something broke, they would be like, okay. I'm like, can you send someone out? Like the door to the basement, the external door to the basement is broken. Like it doesn't lock. Can you send someone out? Okay, but do you use that door? Well, no, but it's a safety hazard now because I live here with my
Yeah.
children and the door is no longer secure. Okay, but do you use it? Okay. Again, like that's how it went. It was just such a Like I would call and I'd be like, I don't think the air conditioning is working. And they would be like, okay, we can send someone out in September. I'm like, well, it's June and it's 109 degrees because this is the
Yeah.
middle of freaking Kansas. Yeah, it was such a just that place was just yeah, my life is so much better now.
I lived in a slumlord place with our third
You
sister, our
did.
younger sister. And when we moved in, we rented this place sight unseen on the internet. And when we moved in, there weren't doors on the bedrooms.
Oh, that's fun.
Wait, let me tell you. Because then he was like, I mean, maybe I can put like those accordion doors. No, no, it's a shotgun style house. So my bedroom was in the back. And through the bathroom, I was like, no. Like, if I'm in my room trying to sleep or have sex with my boyfriend and my sister needs to poop,
Oh God.
like, she's facing us. So
Oh my God.
we're sisters. We need to, because people,
Oh my God.
he was like, I mean, do you really need the doors? Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Turns
Absolutely. Yeah.
out people like to have doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, that was our slumlord who was upset, like no doors. And when we're talking to him and we're like, so we just got here and, there's no doors and whatever. And he was like, yeah, did you see those cute flowers I put in? You ran them over with the moving truck. Why would you put a fucking bed of flowers in, but not doors? I mean, literally, like,
He's here.
like you sit on the toilet and what you're looking at is my doorway to my bedroom.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like, even if she has to pee or something, like,
Oh my God.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
So
We definitely
Slumlord's fantastic.
yeah. Yeah. We've moved up in life for sure after that.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
my God.
yeah, my landlords now, they're fantastic. They had HVAC here today. I don't even know what else was.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
We have pretty great parents.
yeah, we do. Yeah,
Turns out our dad is actually pretty handy too.
I know.
But even better, like now, our parents, I mean, they retired well, they planned well for retirement, they're very fortunate. And it's not even always my dad that has to fix things. Sometimes they just decide to call somebody else and pay somebody else to fix it. But either way,
Yes.
they rarely tolerate like broken shit in their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now they're so on top of it. Like, it used to be scary to like tell dad, like, oh my God, the sink is broken. And
Yeah.
we're like, okay, well, I have to leave for 4 days while he fixes the plumbing.
Yeah.
Now it still is scary because he knows it's going to cost him a lot of money,
Right.
but it's much less scary.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because it used to be like, I mean, just really, it's like that was really
Yeah.
you were ruining everyone's day.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, like we didn't have a lot of money, and our dad did like have to fix things that broke. And a lot of times it was a band-aid fix, not a real legitimate
Well,
like fixing it.
yeah,
They
because
just
he
like they
didn't
didn't
know
have
how to
money.
do plumbing. He's learning it as he's taking it apart.
Exactly. And this is before YouTube. Like you couldn't just
Yeah,
go to YouTube and be like how to change, the plumbing out from under the sink or whatever. And so they didn't have money. He didn't have time. He worked a lot of hours. There was just no bandwidth for it. The time he did have, he was trying to give to mom and to us and
yeah,
mow the grass or whatever. And I mean, honestly, like our mom was pretty freaking handy too. Like she did a lot of band-aids on stuff too. But
yes,
it was like if we were taking a shower and the shower just like didn't drain well or just like anything like that, we would just
anything.
be like we would just tolerate it. Like I'd be like, hey, the shower's not draining, so don't go in right after me, but also don't tell
Yeah,
mom. Like that was how we operated for a lot of years. Like the garage door would be like jammed, and I'm like, shit. I tried to close the garage door after I played in the driveway,
yeah.
and the garage door did not close all the way. Let's just go to bed. Maybe they won't notice. And by the way, this wasn't even an automatic garage door. Like we did not live that kind of a life. This was like you had to heave it up. Probably it didn't close because I weighed 45 pounds and I didn't have the strength to close it tight. That's probably why it
You
didn't close.
probably have to like hang on to it for it to come down.
But that's like that would happen. Like we would be like, oh, the railing on the front porch. Like, oh my God, maybe dad won't touch it on his way inside the door.
Yes. It,
Yeah. Yeah. It was stressful for us. Like, I mean, I know it was stressful for them, but like we had stress about
yes. What just happened? Oh,
my
yeah. I
son
don't know.
just called my phone. So it paused the sorry.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure that the AI will edit that right out.
Love it.
And if not, yeah,
Love it for us. Yeah.
it's very. Um,
So, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say we didn't even get into what we were planning on talking about,
Do that
but
when we record in a couple of days.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, tell us your crazy stories about creepy critters, whatever.
Growing up and how your parents acted when the stuff broke inside the house, like,
Yes.
you know,
Like the internal trauma from that. One of my
my God.
friends, I didn't even realize it's so funny when your friends point out your trauma. Like one of my friends, every time she would come over to hang out with me when I was working in Virginia, um, we would watch Supernatural together and I would always be like, and she's like, okay, can you turn it? And I'm like, God, here's the remote, Noella. And she's like, what is your childhood trauma with the remote? Because she was like, you've got an issue with this. I'm like, I don't know, it's so much responsibility.
God, that's so funny.
And by the way, the remote is like the 4-button thing for Google Chrome. Okay, it's not even
Oh my
complicated.
God. Oh my God. So funny.
Yes.
Ah,
So tune in. From here on out, we're going to be every week on Wednesday. We'll drop Wednesday at midnight. We're going to just keep going. Leave comments, send suggestions for topics. Again, please be kind to us and to each other in the comments.
yes. Yeah. Follow us on all the places.
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful week. Jen, I will talk to you later. Love you.
Okay. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.